Hello, my name is Carolina Alvarez, and I'm here with Mara Betancourt, and we're going to be presenting an analysis of ESL program models in Texas. So we're going to do an in-depth exploration of the different ESL program models that are approved that support emergent bilingual students. This presentation evaluates the effectiveness of different program models for emergent bilingual students, or EBs, approved by the Texas Education Agency, or TEA, focusing on their impact on the educational outcomes.
We're going to be talking about emergent bilingual specifically in Texas. And as you can see in your own classrooms or in your own school districts, there has been a significant increase in emergent bilingual students. If we look at the data 10 years ago, so if we're taking into account the 13-14 school year and looking at where we were in the 23-24 school year, the number of emergent bilinguals in Texas increased so significantly. There was almost a 50% increase. And this only indicates a growing need for targeted educational support and, of course, for professionals who are certified to serve this growing population. With this comes an increased diversity in our public schools. So in the same time, 24.3% of Texas students were identified as emergent bilinguals, and this is up from 17.5% if we look at 10 years prior. And again, this only reflects how much that diversity is expanding here in our Texas public schools.
This means that 1 out of 5 students that are enrolled in Texas schools are emergent bilingual students. So during the 23-24 school year, approximately 1,350,920 students participating in either bilingual or ESL programs in Texas, demonstrating the state's commitment to supporting these students and providing them with the education that they need. So when we look at the approved program models, there are 6 program models that are approved by TEA. 4 of those models are bilingual program models, and 2 of them are ESL program models. And each model is designed to cater the specific needs of emergent bilingual students, focusing on English language acquisition while supporting their linguistic backgrounds, their linguistic needs, and also while teaching them with academic content. So when we look at bilingual versus ESL, these models have different approaches. Bilingual programs incorporate the student's native language while they enhance language acquisition in English. However, ESL programs focus exclusively on teaching English to those that participate in ESL. One of the main bilingual programs is Dual Language Immersion One Way. This bilingual program is designed to make grade level academic content accessible to emergent bilingual students through the development of literacy and academic skills in the child's primary or partner language and in English. The academic, linguistic, and backgrounds of emergent bilingual students are used in this bilingual program as a platform for acquiring grade level content and developing academic language in the partner language and in English in all content areas. The emergent bilingual students that participate in one-way dual language program aim to attain bilingualism and biliteracy and to reach high levels of literacy and academic achievement in the partner language and in English as well. Students receive instruction in both languages as having a bilingual certified teacher. And one of the recommendations or one of the main requirements of dual language is that at least 50% of the instruction is delivered in the student's home language for the duration of the program. This helps students aim for academic success, bilingualism, biliteracy, and also having a dual language program fosters that cultural awareness and appreciation. Students that participate in this program aim to reclassify no sooner than 6 years and no later than 7 years.
And in a very similar fashion, the dual language immersion two-way, it does have all the same goals and objectives as the one-way. However, this one program integrates the emerging bilingual population and adds up to a 50% of English proficient students. The instruction, just as in the one-way, is guided in English and also in the partner language. The objective is bilingualism and biliteracy, just as in the one-way. And also the reclassification is expected to be no sooner than 6 years and no later than 7 years. And there's this idea of an enhanced cultural awareness as children learn from each other, value each other's culture and languages, and grow into their other language together. In opposition, the Transitional Early Exit Program is a little bit different. This one is designed to assist our emergent bilinguals by giving them instruction in both English and that partner language, but with the final objective to prepare them for reclassification. That's the objective, not necessarily biliteracy or bilingualism, but reclassification and getting them ready to succeed in an English-only class. The reclassification timeline is shorter, as students in this program are expected to achieve that reclassification criteria within a time frame of 2 to 5 years. And again, the objective is to for the students to fully participate in mainstream English-only classes.
So the transitional late exit program, it's another bilingual program very similar to the early exit. It has the same goals, which is to reclassify and transition them to English only instruction. They do use a native language to transition students, but the goal is not bilingualism or biliteracy. The goal is really English acquisition. However, this program, this late exit program, expects reclassification to happen no sooner than 6 years and no later than 7 years after they begin school. Also, the transitional late exit program supports bilingual students by providing instruction in both languages. But like I said, the goal is really to transition them to English only, facilitating a gradual transition to English proficiency. Then we have a different program, which is ESL, and ESL is for students who speak diverse languages, not necessarily just one same language. And according to the Texas Education Code, ESL content-based is an English acquisition program that serves students that are identified as emergent bilingual students through English instruction by teachers that are appropriately certified in ESL through all content areas. So this includes teachers that are teaching English language arts and reading, math, science, and social studies.
And then there's what is known as the ESL Pullout Program. The ESL Pullout Program, by definition, is an English acquisition program that serves our emergent bilingual students through English instruction that is provided by a certified ESL teacher in the English language arts and reading class. So the difference between the ESL Pullout Program and what Carolina was explaining us about the content-based is the other program has 4 teachers who are certified in ESL. This one is where the student's schedule allows for 1 teacher who's ESL certified, and that 1 teacher is the English language arts and reading teacher. So really, this is not to be confused with pullout, explicit pullout, as in the student leaving the general education classroom to attend a separate class. This is like an embedded ESL inside the ELAR classroom. And then there are the ESL and transition bilingual programs that we're going to look at these in comparison with dual language immersion programs. So As you can recall, both the ESL programs and those transitional bilingual programs, late and early exit, these programs are focused solely on achieving that English proficiency, meeting that reclassification criteria, exiting the programs, and moving students into the mainstream English-only environment. Whereas the dual language immersion programs, one or two way, these are very emphatic in their approach to making sure that, yes, that students reach that proficiency, but in both languages, in their English, but also in the partner or heritage language, and that they are biliterate in both languages, and that they reach some sort of sociocultural competence. It's a much richer program. These two programs, they aim to develop proficiency while fostering that academic success and celebrating cultural diversity. So it's kind of like the trifecta of programs.
So when we compare student outcomes across these different programs, there is a very famous study from Collier and Thomas that evaluated over 6 million emerging bilingual students that participated in grades 1 through 12. And what they found is that those that participated in effective transitional bilingual programs performed better on English reading tests than those that went straight to ESL or English only instruction. Additionally, they found that those English learners or EB students that participate in dual language programs actually achieve better academic results than peers in any other language programs like ESL or transitional bilingual, and they actually close the achievement gap with English proficient students by middle school. So that means that comparing to students that were not EB students or that have already reclassified, they close the achievement gap and perform equally or even better than them by middle school. Additionally, something that's been found across different research is that emergent bilingual students that are enrolled in dual language programs outperform their peers, again, in traditionally English settings, not just when it comes to reading, but also in various academic assessments. And this is attributed to the comprehensive approach of dual language programs, which allows the use of both languages to acquire academic content while they learn and acquire language proficiency in these two languages.
And of course, tied to those success rates come the higher reclassification rates. So the same evidence shows that students who participate in dual language programs, they have higher reclassification rates compared to students who participate in other programs. And this suggests that these models of dual language support language development as well as that long-term academic achievement. Along with those higher reclassification rates, of course, come long-term benefits. So these studies that have followed students throughout the years can be evidence that the benefits of dual language education go far beyond the elementary grades, that students maintain those high proficiency levels and then outperform peers in the rest of their academic career, particularly in the areas of reading and writing.
So it is important to think about the program choices that our students have and which ones led to success, both for academic and language purposes. So as educators, we do have to share with parents what are the options and what are the best models for our emergent bilingual students to succeed. So selecting the program model for EB students is essential for them to maximize the academic outcomes and English proficiency at the same time. And again, studies have consistently shown that dual language education programs lead to better outcomes for emergent bilingual students compared to transitional English only instruction. After all the studies that Thomas and Collier have done, analyzing the different program models that we have, they have come up with a conclusion that the strongest predictor of L2, or in this case, English, student achievement is the amount of formal L1 schooling. So the amount of time that they spend learning in their native language. So the more L1 grade level schooling, the higher the L2 achievement is going to be.
And so this is the study that we are all very familiar with, where they followed a number of students throughout their educational career. And what this graph continuously proves is that students' trajectory, academic trajectory, up until the third grade looks very similar, regardless of what content or what model we're using. However, the outcomes after that third grade are very distinct. And as we all know, that dotted horizontal line is the average for the English native speakers. And the only two programs that do offer benefits beyond that would be the 1- and 2-way dual language programs. And these are followed by transitional through academic content, transitional, traditional, ESL through academic content, and then ESL pullout being the one with the lowest yields. So again, like Carolina was stating, we have that responsibility of offering what's best for students, educating parents in what their options are, and letting them know of which programs offer the highest results compared to others. And finally, here are our references. Thank you so much for attending this session.